And a side hustle can actually open new doors for you that you can't even imagine. Maybe you have a successful side hustle, you still want to go to college, you still want to get a full-time job somewhere, but doing things in the side hustle, you start learning different skills, maybe public speaking, maybe selling, maybe social media skills that you could put on your resume for college, or maybe you could put on your resume for future jobs, and you can have those certain type of skill sets that's going to last you a lifetime. Hi, this is your host of the Teenage Impact, Shelomo Solson, and I'm here to inspire you as a teenage kid to overcome any struggle in life. We're all going through something. It may be bullying. Maybe we're getting bad grades. Maybe we have suicidal thoughts. Maybe our parents are getting a divorce. Maybe we can't live as free in our family. But guess what? The Teenage Impact Podcast is the best podcast out there for any teen to listen to overcome and be inspired to overcome any struggle to make an impact in our community. Before I continue with this episode, if you're tuning in from Apple Podcasts, please, 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 I'm asking you for a favor, trying to inspire as many teens as possible. For that to happen, the Teenage Impact Podcast needs to be ranked higher. So leave a rating and review, because I'm trying to be ranked higher and inspire as many people as possible. If you have a friend, a classmate, a sibling, family member, whoever that you know is in a funk and can't seem to get out of it, share this podcast with them, because like I said, you just never know how someone will be inspired by listening to someone who has overcame struggles in life, and it could be a powerful, you will be doing them a service by sharing the Teenage Impact podcast with them. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want a side hustle? Do you want a side hustle, or do you have a side hustle? Are your parents for it or against it? If you have a side hustle, what are your biggest challenges? Maybe you're not generating enough revenue. Maybe you don't have time. Maybe your friends think you're weird. Maybe your family members think you're weird. Today's episode is going to be how to go about having a side hustle when you feel like everyone is against you, including your parents and including your friends. Recently, about last week, I received a message from a teen page, and they're trying to inspire teens just like I am. And they said, Shlomo, you're doing a great job inspiring teens. And I said, hey, you're doing a good job too. Thank you for the support. And they said, we want to do the same thing, but there's so many people out there that's trying to inspire teens, and we really don't have the time. It's really tough to go about our page, especially with homework, especially with work, especially with family troubles and everything going on in life. I told them, I said, there's a difference. Now, for the past 5.5 years, 6 years, I've been struggling with trying to find momentum in a side hustle. Teenage Impact is the first side hustle, which is going to be a full-time hustle very soon. It's the first side hustle that's building momentum after 5.5 years of trial and error, after 5.5 years of pushing. But here's the difference between the Teenage Impact and my other side hustles. The Teenage Impact, I don't have to push to work. I don't have to push myself after I'm feeling drained out after work. I don't have to push myself when I'm having struggles in my own life. I don't have to push myself. The Teenage Impact pulls me. That's the difference. Push versus pull. When you have a side hustle that you have to constantly push, it's not sustainable. But when you have a side hustle that's pulling you constantly, and you don't even seem like it's work to you, even though you're in school, even though you have extracurricular activities, even though you might have a part-time job, even though you might be having problems with your teachers, your classmates, or your friends, or your family members, it pulls you. So the first advice I gave is it needs to pull you versus you pushing to become great. And how does that happen? The only way for that to happen is through a lot of trial and error. I had to go through a lot of pushes. I had to go through a lot of failures in order to find the Teenage Impact, a brand geared towards helping teenage kids. I've always knew I wanted to help teenage kids, but I always thought about so many different factors: money, time. What can I teach them? I had all these limiting beliefs which is why you have to follow what your heart says sometimes. And when you do follow your heart, sometimes you will get disappointed and you will fail, which is okay. You take that failure. I've taken every failure of all my side hustles and I've applied them to the Teenage Impact. Now, what do you do if people are against your side hustle? What do you do? What I'm about to tell you is probably not parent approved, probably not school approved. I'm going to say it anyways. If your parents are against you having a side hustle, do it anyway. If your parents are against you having a side hustle, do it anyways. There are so many benefits of having a side hustle that other people don't know. It's the best time we're living in today, a time where we can do anything we want to, almost anything we want to, just with our phones. We can make money, extra money. Maybe we need extra money to support our parents. Maybe we need extra money to buy a car. Maybe we need extra money to get some clothes. Maybe we just want some extra money, and that's fine. A side hustle is a great way. A second benefit of having a side hustle is you feel fulfilled. There's a difference between having a job and having a purpose. A purpose is what drives us. A purpose is what makes us feel fulfilled. A purpose is what is the reason why we wake up every single morning when we don't feel like it. And a side hustle can actually open new doors for you that you can't even imagine. Maybe you have a successful side hustle. You still want to go to college. You still want to get a full-time job somewhere. But doing things in the side hustle, you start learning different skills. Maybe public speaking, maybe selling, maybe social media skills that you could put on your resume for college. Or maybe you could put on your resume for future jobs. And you can have those certain type of skill sets that's going to last you a lifetime. There's going to be different reasons why people will be against you in your side hustle. First of all, they will not understand your purpose in life. When I told someone when I was 22 years old, right before graduating college, I told an adult, hey, I want to become a speaker. He said, well, to become a speaker, you have to have years and years and years of experience, and no one's going to really listen to a college graduate. He didn't maybe say it like that, but he might as well say it like that because that's what he intended to say. And that's what a lot of people said. But I had a purpose in mind. And my purpose was to motivate and inspire people because that's my natural tendency. Always when I was in college, people always told me their problems. I always try to motivate people unintentionally. But now it's with intention and I'm intending to inspire. Before, I didn't even know I had that gift and I did it anyways. So people are never going to understand your story. People are never going to understand your purpose. And that's only for you to put out there. Second, they're not going to see how you can make money, especially parents. If your parents are probably late 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, nothing against the older generation, but they were not raised with social media. And now with social media, you can make money. Doesn't mean everyone makes money. There's a lot of people struggling to make money that's on social media, but it has never been easier to make money. I have interviewed people that made $150,000 at 15, 16 years old. I know I interviewed someone else at 16 years old. She wanted to buy a car and her family didn't have any money. So what did she do? Within like 4 months, 5 months, she made $20,000. dollars and bought herself a car. That's how easy it is to make money. Not saying it is easy, but it's much easier. So people do not see that potential. But if you see that potential, you need to keep on going. Another reason why people will be against it is because it might take away time for school. And they think the school is 100% the most important part of your teenage years. I disagree. I would tell you, I regret when I was in high school and middle school to not be as involved as I was in college. What was more important for me in college was not my college degree. It was joining my fraternity, because my fraternity played a humongous part in developing my social skills, my leadership skills, my drive, my ability to try to make things happen and throw events together, which I translate into business. I'm not saying that a degree is not worthy, but for me, it was more the experience of joining extracurricular activities. Now, they can go hand in hand. If you don't want to become a full-time entrepreneur when you grow up, you can still have extracurricular activities and use those skills that you learn in those extracurricular activities into the future, your future job. But a lot of parents, especially I would say coming from an Asian household, a lot of Asian parents or immigrant parents was only just see one-sided, get good grades, and that's the only way to success. But that's not the only way to success. You can still have good grades on one side, and you could be learning skills that other people are not learning in their teen years. Maybe about 5% of teens are actually trying to learn those skills early on in life. So if you can do master the skills on top of having good grades, then you are unstoppable. So what do you do? Like I said, what do you do when people are against you? Do it anyways. I was interviewing Tammy Johnson, a 13-year-old motivational speaker from Nigeria. And in the beginning, when he first started, his dad was super, super against him doing the whole motivational speaking. At 13 years old, he wants to do it. Now, regardless whether he's going to succeed or fail, his dad is already gaining respect just watching him do it, because he started pursuing something he believed in. And the more you pursue something you believe in, and the more results you show to other people, then it will come. It will come. Respect will follow when you show results. Tony Robbins, humongous motivational speaker, makes millions and millions and millions of dollars. Well, he's not just a motivational speaker, self-help guru. He's helped presidents, celebrities, worldwide figures. And he wanted to do well. He wanted to do something else. And he actually had to run away from home, from his mom, because his mom kind of hindered him from doing what he wanted. And, after 10 years of just constant grinding, now in his 20s, he became a millionaire. And he gained his mom respect. He built that relationship back with his mother. But the point is that don't expect people to understand your struggle. When I first started a Teenage Impact, well, Teenage Impact wasn't the first thing I did. When I first started trying to pursue speaking, my friends just laughed and said, "You know what, Shlomo's just trying to do whatever, it's just a side thing." But people actually now see the impact I'm making. So my recommendation to you is to constantly hustle, constantly have trials and errors, constantly try to fail, constantly just persistence is key. All I'm asking you to do is persist in the path that you want to go. Immerse yourself in knowledge. Immerse yourself with other people who are on the same path with you. And eventually, regardless whether you will fail or not, you will learn. And if you do fail and your parents are super against it, Gary Vaynerchuk, another famous entrepreneur, always says you got to be able to suck up the pride of losing. When you go into it, just know that there is a potential that your parents might prove you wrong and say, you know what, you did fail. But that shouldn't discourage you in the future of having other side hustles. But you should suck it up and say, you know what, I'm going to suck up my pride and accept my loss. But accept your loss. If your parents are against you and they won't fund you, do it from your own money. Or open up a GoFundMe page. Open up some crowd fund where people donate to your cause and to your side hustle. Find a way to have your own money if your parents are against it. And that's pretty much what I'm going to say is I think everyone should really have a side hustle. It teaches you so much about yourself. And it's not always easy, but a side hustle could be you're writing a book. Side hustle can be a YouTube channel, a podcast, having a clothing brand, throwing events. Whatever that side hustle is, you have to figure out for yourself. Dig deep inside of you and try to find people who align with your purpose to make your future and your goals happen. Now I'm going to end with this. Think about 80 years from now, 60 years from now, 70 years from now, when you're on your deathbed, right? Do you want to have regrets saying I should have pursued that idea? Regret will kill you. Regret will make you unhappy. And the more you regret in life, the unhappier you will be. So go ahead, fill your life with no regrets and pursue your purpose and pursue your passion. And thank you for tuning in. If you really found this podcast episode helpful, like I said, please rate and review. I also included a free 7 quick and easy ways to feel better about yourself, a guide I've compiled based off my 25 interviews and my own experiences. So I provided the link in the description. Please click on it. It's super beneficial for anyone who's in the funk. And until next time, peace.